Kabataan Representative Manuel, at Gabriela Rep. Brosas Supalpal kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Matapos sinagot ng harap-harapan kaugnay sa proposed 2.21 billion pesos 2023 budget para sa Office of the Vice President.
Okay, so I'll direct the question to the official in charge
That was your
of
last
finance.
question. We can have a short manifestation to close.
Okay, sige. I'll just leave this final question. Then, depende lang po sa DepEd kung masasagot. In case there will be an amendment in the NEP to realign confidential funds and good governance programs to specific itemized programs in education, kagaya ng provision ng school supplies, will DepEd be willing and able to utilize such funds? Yun na lang, Madam Chair. Maraming salamat.
Salamat, Rep. Manuel. Madam Secretary.
Yes, opo. I'd like to add to the answer of Yusek Gabriela. We're actually done with the review. We are currently presenting it. We initially presented it to the MANCOM, EXECOM, and then we will present it to other sectors from the government and the private sector as well. And we are currently starting with the review on grades 11 to 12, and then it will go through the same process. It will go through presentations so that comments and suggestions from all the sectors can be collated by the Department of Education, and we come up with the new curriculum for the K-12 program. However, during our discussions, it will take 2 to 3 years for us to implement new curriculum for the K-12. And I am trying to push the curriculum and instruction strand to do it in 1 year, and we will update you on that if we will be able to implement a new curriculum in a year or two. We're talking about academic school year. With regard to the confidential funds, there are so many issues, and you see it in the news with regard to our work in the Department of Education, the issues and challenges that we face in the Department of Education. Some of which very recently in the news are sexual grooming of our learners by their peers or their teachers, the recruitment to terrorism, active shooter copycats and active shooter issues and problems, recruitment in insurgency, recruitment of children in illegal criminal activities, the drug use of DepEd personnel and drug involvement of learners, the success of projects, activities, and programs depend upon very good surveillance and intelligence. Dahil hindi po ninyo matatarget kung sino ang isusolusyon ninyo kapag hindi po kayo nakagather ng credible intelligence and surveillance sa mga problema na gusto nating solusyonan sa loob ng Department of Education. And all this relate to our mandate that we deliver quality, basic education to our learners. And of course, education of our children relates to our national security as well. Thank you.
Next, interpolate from the minority. The chair recognizes Representative Eileen Brosas from the Gabriela party list.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, my question is, yung 13.9 billion na inilaan sa pagpapatayo ng classrooms, inilalaan para sa pagpapatayo ng classrooms, ilan po ang maipapatayo nito, Madam Chair?
Yes, we'd like to call you Yusek Ablan, Administration Strand.
Yes, Madam Chair. For the classroom allocation for 2023, we can allocate 2,300 classrooms po.
So, Madam Chair, base sa mga sinabi kanina, sa kalagayan ng classroom talaga natin, overcrowded, tapos karamihan 2 klase sa isang classroom, ano exactly yung gagawin ng DepEd para dito? Kanina po sinabi yung flexible learning, etc. Ano exactly yung gagawin natin sa mga kulang yung classrooms?
Yusek Ablan. Madam Secretary.
Yes. Thank you. So right now, what we are doing is that we do shifting of classes, and some of our schools are on blended learning. So they shift from in-person classes to modular or online electronic classes. And for our future plan is the flexible learning options. So flexible learning options right now are FLO-ALS, that is the alternative learning system, the FLO-ADM, that is the alternative delivery modes of instructional or learning modalities, and the FLO-LRs. So the long-term plan is for flexible learning options, and the short-term plan is for shifting of classes and blended learning. Thank you.
Brosas.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, physical talaga yung kailangan ng mga estudyante, no, na structure sa ngayon. At yun talaga yung kulang. And Madam Chair, how about yung mga textbooks, instructional materials? May bagong delivery ba ng textbooks? And ilan po ang na-procure na armchairs and desks ng DepEd?
Right. Okay. Yusek Ablan of the curriculum and administration strand.
Yusek Ablan.
Right now, Madam Chair, we have procurement for SLMs and textbooks. For next year, we are also programming continuing SLMs and textbooks, Madam Chair.
Brosas.
Madam Chair, my question about the procurement ng arms and chairs, desk ng DepEd, para sa paghahanda sa face-to-face classes.
Insofar as the school furniture program is concerned, Madam Chair, we have an allocation of 1.1 billion, which we seek to have 15,510 seats delivered to our learners this year.
Madam Chair, kasya ba ito?
My apologies. It's not enough, Madam Chair. Our research have shown that in 2020, the House of Representatives allocated more or less 4 billion pesos for the school furniture program because there is a backlog. However, due to the COVID pandemic, 3 billion was actually returned to the Bayanihan Fund. We are requesting for the House to return the 3 billion that we requested so that when we build classrooms, there is a corresponding number of chairs and furniture. So again, to reiterate, the House allocated 4 billion but we returned 3 billion for the Bayanihan. We are seeking the return of the 3 billion in order for us to adequately provide for chairs and tables for our learners.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, bakit binalik yung pondo, no? Kulang nga. Pinababalik nyo, Madam Chair?
Madam Secretary.
Yes, we'd like to call Yusek Sevilla of Finance Strand.
Yusek Sevilla.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It was during the calendar year 2020 and 2021, there was an executive order to review programs that will not be implemented due to the COVID. And DBM actually has identified also programs of the Department of Education, and this was officially returned, negative allotment, and then positive allotment for the blended learning. So ito po ay talagang ginawa ng lahat ng mga ahensya. Ang ibig sabihin lang po is yung requirement na dapat na ipadala or na deliver noong 2020-2021 because of the Bayanihan Law will now be very much inadequate for 2023. And i-reiterate po namin, ang proposal namin for 2023 for school furniture is 4.7 billion, but the NEP provided 1.8 billion. So another 3 billion deficiency for the year. Yun po yung explanation, Madam Chair.
Yun, Madam Chair, nag-a-average ang mga class size ng 40, 50, 60, tapos walang upuan. Madam Chair, dapat seryosohin natin ito, bigyan natin ng atensyon yung tumitinding education crisis. Kailangan po tugunan ng gobyerno yung kakulangan sa pasilidad, yung classrooms, yung kagamitan, yung mga guro na lubos na naapektuhan dito sa kalidad ng edukasyon para po talagang makausad tayo, Madam Chair. And my question is, meron po kayong 150 million confidential fund sa DepEd. Para po saan ito? Kasi I believe yung Office of the Vice President, meron na siyang 500 million confidential fund na nakalagay. And ito, 150 million. And in the 2021 and 2022 wala pong ganito.
Yes, thank you. The Office of the Vice President and the Department of Education are two separate entities. They are two separate departments of the government, and they have separate mandates as well. As explained earlier, number one, the success of a project, activity, or program really depends upon very good intelligence and surveillance, because you want to target specific issues and challenges. And because these specific issues and challenges are all illegal, like say for example, as previously mentioned, sexual grooming of learners, recruitment in terrorism and violent extremism, drug use of DepEd personnel, these are not laid out for our regular personnel to see. That is why we need the help of the security cluster and the security sector to address these issues and challenges to basic education. And as I said, basic education has a direct link to the national security of our country. We are truly interested in the quality of education of our learners.
To our members,
Yes, Madam Chair.
sana po